The year 2035 is being shown in this start of the film. Human services are performed by robots in this scenario. Each individual keeps his own robot. It is being told in the movie that overall robots throughout the world, they work according to 3 laws. It is compulsion in their system to serve accordingly. The first law included is those robots cannot harm any human being. It has to abide by its owner according to the second law. Accept that order which is going against the profit of others. The third law comprised is those robots can protect themselves. Neither they will harm any human being while protecting themselves, nor they will disobey their owner. These 3 laws are saved in the system of each robot, so it may carry out them. If any robot violates any law of them, then it is deactivated. And there is one company which manufactures all robots, its name is USR. The scene drops here and a character named Dell is seen sleeping. He was dreaming as he is going somewhere. At the same time, his car and another car are also crashed with a truck. And these both cars are fallen into the water. And a robot had appeared there to rescue them. Who was going to save Dell, while there was a little girl in another car? That little girl needed more of that robot. Dell says to that robot, "Go and rescue that girl. I myself can come from this water." Robots are feelingless and they function according to their set system. So robot prefers to rescue that person logically whose survival chances were more. So he was going to rescue Dell. And that little girl is drowned to death because of not having rescue on time. Now, Dell is seen waking up. It is known as this incident is based on reality. And Dell still hates the robots because of not rescuing that little girl. In the next scene, it is witnessed that a robot was escaping after robbing the purse of someone. Dell thinks here as that robot has robbed. So he chases it in order to capture it. At last, he captures it. Then he comes to know that a lady who is the owner of this robot was functioning according to her command. Now, Dell leaves that place, apologizing that lady. Now, Dell is seen in his office where it is exposed that Dell is a homicide detective. His boss comes to him, he says to him that I have got news. What have you done today? You had to prevent from this. You had not to catch the robot of anyone. He says, I know about this that you detest the robots. But you also know it that no robot has ever harmed any human being till today. So stop wasting your time to prove their system faulty. Dell agrees with his boss. Then he receives a call. Now, it was being informed to him that someone has died. Moving there, he knows that co-founder of USR company has committed suicide. He was very dejected, seeing him. Because the accident which was seen in the dream of Dell, one of Dell's arms had fractured in that accident, which had been changed with a robotic arm by the scientist. A hologram has appeared near the dead body of company's co-founder which belonged to that co-founder. Dell asks him, why have you committed suicide? But that co-founder does not reply on this through that hologram. And he again enters the hologram. This case had been handed over to Detective Dell now. So he moves to CEO of USR company for further investigation. Dell knows after the investigation from him that co-founder of USR was overburdened of work, so he committed suicide after being panicked. But Dell had suspicion on it, so he meets with the doctor of this company, whose name was Susan. She brings Dell to latest AI robot Vicky, which used to handle all the tasks of company through the computer software. Dell says to that robot, show the footage of scientist's room before the 10 minutes of his death. But there was perhaps malfunctioning in its system, so the footage is played after 10 minutes of his death. Dell knows through that footage that no one came out of his room after the scientist's death. And he suspected here as if anyone else has killed the scientist, then he will be surely in his room. Going into the scientist's room, they glimpse many incomplete manufactured robots. Meanwhile, a latest model of robot appears from the things here, which attacks Dell here. This robot's name was Sunny. Now this robot had violated its law to not harm any human being, so that doctor orders that robot to deactivate yourself. But that robot does not carry out her command and it jumps out of the window. Meanwhile, Dell had fires his gun at it. As a result, a strange liquid had dropped on the floor, coming out it. As human beings bleed, they had known here that robot has become out of order. Dell asks Susan where the damaged robots are sent for repairing. He adds, I have to go there, and Susan agrees to take him there. Detective also calls his more police officers while moving there. The factory where Susan had brought Dell with her, there were manufacturing the new robots, which were NS5 robots, because they wanted to replace the old model robots with the latest ones. And 1000s robots were manufactured here on the daily basis. Susan knows that there are 1001 robots when she counts them again here. They had detected through this as Sunny is also here. But it was seeming difficult to find out Sunny among the same robots. So Detective Dell fires his gun at one robot, and Sunny comes ahead to see that Dell has really damaged that robot. Through its action, it is revealed that it is Sunny. Detective moves ahead to catch it, but Sunny attacks him from the backside. And it was going to escape while falling him down, that the called police officers of Detective capture it who were standing outside. Now Detective comes to him for the investigation. Detective interrogates, Sunny, have you killed the scientist? Sunny tells him, I have not killed scientist, rather he has committed suicide. Sunny also tells Dell that I am his special robot. And he has also programmed the human emotions in my system. USR company's CEO reaches there before Detective may collect further details from it. And he says to him, our robots never harm. And this robot's system has perhaps become out of order, and we repair it. Saying it, they take this robot from there. Now, Dell goes to the scientist's house. He knows after visiting there, because scientist has died, so the house awarded by company will be demolished till 8 a.m. Now, Dell had a few hours to investigate in that house. And the system detects as Dell enters the house, that someone has entered the house, so the timing of that place is changed. And a biggest robot begin to demolish that house because of changing time. Dell immediately comes out of the house while saving a cat from there. After this, he comes to Susan's house and says to her, that I have suspicion on company's CEO. Because Sunny was also wanting to share with me something. But CEO takes it away in the meantime, reaching there. Susan says to him, you are taking it wrong. It is not as such. And she says, why will CEO be the cause of scientist's death? As it has become difficult to run the company without him. Dell comes out of Susan's house and he witnesses that all robots are being replaced with NS5 latest robots. Now, Dell says to USR company's robot of new model in his car that, show me scientist's records of last 50 messages. That AI robot shows those records too. Dell agreeing with him. But it also informs to CEO along with this. Hearing it, CEO had lost his temper. And he sends some of his robots to kill Dell. And all robots attack him, coming here. And Dell presses a specific button to escape from them. Consequently, the car had begun to revolve speedily. But robots do not stop chasing his car. As a result, his car is crashed. Fortunately, Dell is saved. He attacks the coming robots with his robotic hand. So the robot realizes as he is also a robot. And the robots let him go. It is seen in the next scene that there were a few police officers and detectives like him along with him. Dell's boss asks him, what and how had it happened here? And Dell tells them, I had been attacked by the robots. They don't trust it after hearing it because robots never harmed anyone till now. And they were also thinking as Dell has become mentally unstable because of being burdened. So they dismiss him for a time. Now, Dell moves away in rage. In the next scene, it is shown that Susan has come to Dell's house to meet him. And she asks him while talking, how do you know about the scientist? Then, Dell tells her the story of his accident and the next event. After hearing his story, she takes Dell to Sunny. And Sunny tells him its dream during its conversation with him. It used to dream because it has feelings and emotions. And the dream which he was sharing with Dell, he used to dream it daily. Where many robots are standing before a bridge. And one man is instruction them, standing on the bridge. He was still telling this that guards come there. And they take both of them as Susan and Dell to CEO of this company. And he says to Susan, coming to him that we will have to deactivate Sunny. Because our company is losing its worth because of it. Now, Susan has to be agreed with his boss, so she has to deactivate Sunny. But Detective has still not accepted his defeat. He watches the footage where he glimpses the same bridge as Sunny had told his dream bridge. Dell quickly reaches that bridge, taking the hologram of Hat Scientist. Many containers had been placed in this area. There were a lot of robots in them. Now he activates the hologram and asks the scientist, "Why had you committed suicide?" Now he reveals, "My all-manufactured robot were for the welfare of the humanity. And they used to function according to the set laws. But the NS5 robots which are being manufactured, they will not function according to those laws. As a result, those robots can also harm the human beings." The scientist also says with it, if NS5 robots came throughout the world, then this world will be destroyed. Dell asks him, who is responsible behind this? The scientist replies, that controller of these robots is responsible behind this. Some sounds had started to come out of that container with the turning off the hologram. And all robots had come of those containers. And new model NS robots were damaging the old robots. As an old robot glimpses Dell, here then he asks him to run away. As Dell enters the city, then he notices that thousands of NS5 robots are there. Now human beings had gone to battle with those robots to protect themselves. It was appearing here as a war is going on between human beings and the robots. But these robots were more powerful and outnumbered than human beings. This is the cause those human beings remain unable to harm those robots. Those robots are rather killing the human beings. Now, Dell instantly comes to Susan's house and accompanies her to USR company. Because he was detecting by the last evidences his CEO is manufacturing NS5 robots. And the controller of these robots is also CEO of this company. Now, Dell witnesses on the way as a robot is killing an innocent human being. So they reach USR company while rescuing that man. First of all, they encounter Sunny after reaching USR, which has still its stable memory. Susan tells it here, I had not got ability to deactivate it, but I deactivated another robot. Now they come inside where they find dead CEO. It was clear on his death that he is not responsible for this. There is someone else. Then, Dell recalls those words of Susan, that the new model robot of this company is the controller of each thing of this company. And it had also confirmed that it was controlling all the robots of this company. Now they move to that robot and that robot confesses it that it is doing all actions. It tells that robots had been manufactured for the welfare of the humanity, but human beings completely became dependent on those robots. And they stopped to perform any work themselves. That AI robot tells that it has become compulsion to kill some of the human beings. So that they may know that robots can also harm, then human beings will stop using these robots. And their next generation will be capable of something. Now many robots appear there on its command, which were going to kill 3 of them. Sunny pretends to kill Susan, here to divert their attention. And Dell begins to shoot all of the robots with his gun. At the same time, a robot was nearly to kill Dell. They 3 of them come out of that place as Sunny shoots them. And Susan asks Sunny to bring a device. Due to this they will be able to deactivate the new model robot of that robot. And they can resolve this after it. That robot's location was exactly at the top of this building. Susan was opening its system so she may deactivate it, adjusting a device there. But much time was required for this task to her. Now the chaos was increasing throughout the city. Dell asks Susan, is there any other solution? Due to this, we may carry out this task soon. They were still discussing it that NS5 robots approach there to kill them. And Susan tells him that we will have to adjust this device into its brain system while jumping. And they jump from there for this before the arrival of those robots. And Susan's becomes imbalance as she jumps. She was going to fall there badly. Sunny rescues her. And Dell adjusts that device into its brain system while facing the troubles. That robot VIKI's system is damaged completely. NS5 robots which were creating havoc here become normal after main robot's damage. Everything comes on the routine then. Dell says to Sunny, I know, you have killed the scientist, and tell me now, why had you committed as such? Because those windows have been made with good material so no human can break them. Then that robot tells him, actually, they had known that, one day, these robots will surely harm us. Due to this, they were so worried so that he had manufactured me like the human beings. It means that he had set all feelings and emotions in me. And he says that scientists wanted to get rid of this stress. He was also the one who had told me to toss him out the window. And don't share it with anyone. And he also apologizes, Dell, for this action. Now both are befriended. In the end of the movie, it is seen that Sunny is standing on that bright that it used to dream. And it is controlling all the robots. Showing it, this movie ends on this scene. Thanks for watching, smiley face.